This is an update. This is an informational update. The reason for the title, I'm going to explain it in the video. So, this video was inspired. Me and my granddaughter were doing tattoos today. The reason for this video was inspired by a couple of questions and a couple of conversations regarding income tax returns and expectations and questions and information. So I always promote tax education. I always explain that that's what I offer: tax preparation, personal tax preparation, and in some business, a little bit of small business, a little bit of nonprofit, because I do some tax reporting for a couple of nonprofits, my children's track team and my church. So, and sometimes people have questions about that, and I answer those. These conversations and these questions were about some of the information that I have shared about the earned income credit schedule changing, about the one big beautiful bill, about the tax codes changing, and about specifically this year, some of the information that's being promised, described, not actually being what is really happening. Like, I'm sure everybody's seen the memes in the post about what's up with the no tax on overtime, no tax on tips, and it's a scam, and all of it is a schedule, all of it is a formula. It was always uh, gonna benefit the house. The house wins, and the federal government, the IRS, from that perspective, is the house. We know we're operating under a different regime where the experience and traditional rules do not apply. Um, the thing is, the tax code has always applied, and the tax code changes and updates have always been applied according to uh, community behavior, the citizens' behavior. So in this conversation, somebody was saying, like, okay, this is the second week after the IRS began processing income tax returns. Some family members, friends, clients whose taxes I have, who I've provided tax education and tax support for, for now this is 20 plus years, was saying, dang, this seems like this, some things remind me of. I'm like, yeah, I was thinking the same thing about the earned income credit schedule changing and people earning more money but still seeing their refund. Some of it is their children aging and growing up and the credits changing different. But for some clients in some situations, um, and some family members, they still have young children. Um, they've seen their earnings uh, kind of go up, but their earned income credit go down and be reduced, and some of their tax benefits be reduced. And some of the conversation was, well, remember when refunds used to get paid by this amount of time, and remember back in the days when you used to like wait for your tax refund, and it seemed like it was like a couple weeks away, and yeah, now it's been the last few years. Well, it's been more than the last few years. It's been the last decade. This is 2025. In 2015, and y'all know who y'all president was, and if y'all don't, I'm not gonna say no names, or I'm not gonna name no names. But and it was promoted as consumer protection, and it was promoted as protection for the middle class. But in 2015, the tax code was changed to incorporate the PATH Act. The PATH Act is Protecting Americans from Tax Hikes Act of 2015. It is a federal law enacted to prevent tax fraud and provide tax stability. It mandates that the IRS hold refunds for returns claiming the EITC, Earned Income Tax Credit, or ACTC, additional child tax credit, until at least mid-February to verify eligibility. Now, this description goes on to explain. If you want to know about it, you can look it up. But it put a checks and balances in place. It required employers to file the W-2 forms by January 31st, so that tax returns could be filed in a timely, and so that the IRS would have that reporting mechanism in place to be able to verify earnings. And I'm gonna explain to y'all why they did that, because that was some of the tricks of the trade. And it also put this delay anti-fraud measures that stipulated the IRS could not issue refunds, including the earned income tax credit or the additional child tax credit, until February 15th. So it gave the reporting the time for your W-2 and all your income and earnings to be reported by January 31st, and then gave 2 weeks of that next 30-day payment cycle for all of that information to be uploaded, updated, and included in the system, because that's the checks and balances that are in place. Now, back in the day, before 2015, we all know I have children in their 30s. So 15 years ago, they were high school age and school age. And we all remember, you all know the stories, because everybody was not as educated and not as informed. People used to do those refund anticipation loans. So they will soon, first day of filing, or sometimes in December, they would be ready to file their tax returns. Can I use my last check stub? And when people went to return to those employers, didn't have a whole lot of W-2s, didn't have a whole lot of jobs, didn't have all these gigs and side hustles, they would do that. Now, we know our community. So our community used to, play these little tricks and games. And, if I do this and, only report the jobs that I want to report, I'll get this higher refund. Well, of course, that is, your refund is only your money. So if you don't report correctly and you have your return corrected, by the time the IRS figure, you didn't claim all your income, that's why you qualify for this refund, but now you owe us this back. And people will have their refunds messed up for their child's whole childhood, and have to file a form you got to try to file to reclaim the earned income credit once you got denied it, and a whole bunch of people claiming other people's kids. It was a whole bunch of nonsense going on. Now, I didn't participate in that, because I provide tax education, and I let my clients know, like, following the tax code is just you reconciling your financial year for you to verify or justify or explain how much of your money you need to maintain your household. So the tax credits, the additional child tax credit, earned income credit, I never advise anybody to claim anybody that wasn't their dependent. I also never advise anybody to not claim anybody who wasn't their dependent, because such and such, last year their auntie claimed them. Well, last year they had to go live with their auntie or their great aunt. Well, this year they came to live with me, but I don't want to claim them because I don't want to reconcile what happened in your financial year. If you had 2 extra dependents in your house because a family member needed help, that's your dependent. That's your head of household. That's your dependent. That's your deduction. Claim it. And then you can work it out with your family however y'all do, how y'all do. But that is really what happened. And there's an expectation is built into the tax code that your explanations for what really happened is not the IRS's job or, anybody's job to reconcile that. It's your job to reconcile what happened in your financial year and explain. Like, they got the documentation. They can see it. If they want to go back and do the research and connect the dots, they can do that. That would be TIGDA, not the IRS. But, which is like like a Secret Service investigation into your financial transactions or financial history, but it's a whole lot of stuff that has to happen to trigger that. But just telling what happened in your financial tax year is what you are supposed to do. So, since people did not understand that, since people took a little bit of information, because a little information can be dangerous in the wrong minds, um, Congress recognized that what was happening to people. I mean, and all kind of stuff. Y'all, I don't know if y'all remember, but there used to be car lots to say, "Come and use your refund money, and we'll double your down payment, and come and get a tax refund special." And it used to be, me and my family used to laugh about it and call it Black Folks Christmas. I'm telling y'all, because uh, it's kind of it used to be a point of contention for me, because I would see all of these thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars come into these households, and nope, in January and February and in April and May, everybody broke again, back broke again. It was like a cycle. They everybody buy a used car, their car break down, they'll wait for their refund, they'll buy another used car, their car break down. I was like, oh my gosh, if y'all just pool y'all resources, if y'all just save for a down payment, if you just uh finance a car and pay it on your with. And I'm not saying that like I'm some, like I've always been where I am, because I've been there too. I done had cars repossessed. I was on Section 8 and housing authority paying my rent, and um all of the things. So I get it, I understand. I've been there too, done the refund anticipation loans, and that's one of the reasons that I left a tax preparation company, because of some things that were happening to people in my community that they were being preyed upon. So, and I prayed about my community not being preyed, and now they don't even have those anymore. They definitely don't have them as prevalently as they have them. And you can look up HSBC Bank and them and lawsuits and find out why. But I always believe God is in control. I always believe that um, no good thing will He withhold from those who walk upright before Him. I also always believe in education, and I also believe in information. Knowledge is power. That's kind of how we grew up. So I share the knowledge. So the path deck. So in this conversation, I was sharing that, well, it's been 10 years since the path deck. So it's been for the last 10 years. And that there are people in our community who are just now catching on that it's actually legislated that they have to receive their W-2 by January 31st, that they, if they have the earned income credit or child tax credit on their refund, on refund included in their return, their refund won't be paid until after February 15th. It doesn't mean that your return won't be processed. You can still file your tax return. Your tax return will still be processed like it has been processed. Your information will still be compared to the information in the system. So that means that checks and balances, there's not leaving a whole chunk of income off so that your refund looks better or any of those things. Like, they got something for that now. So but even though your return is processed, your refund is approved, it's ready to be paid, because of the PATH Act, that payment portion of the IRS system won't even look at paying out your refund until February 15th. So all of those go into a certain payment cycle that is incorporated into the processing instrument, we'll call it that. And that part of the payment cycle doesn't start until this year, February 17th, because February 15th is on a weekend. So this year, February 17th, but in a non-leap year, February 15th. So the conversation was Well, I forgot my last W-2. I'm ready to file. Do you think I'll get my refund back by end of this month? I'm like, no, probably not. The conversation continued. Well, why wouldn't I? Because I remember a time when it seems like it's been like that for a while. I go, it's been like that since 2015. So that would have been 2016, the year that you filed. This is 2026, but we're filing 2025 tax year. So 10 years of filing under the PATH Act. And I know state returns are different. So sometimes people, some states, not the state I live in, but a neighboring state, has like earned income credit and they have refunds. That's not part of the PATH Act. The PATH Act is a federal law. So if you have earned income credit on your state tax return and you already processed your tax return, your state may have paid you out your refund. You might already received it. So maybe that's the point of confusion, because some people have earned income credit in their state and their state pays it, by a state return. Usually, all things considered, processing may take a couple weeks to pay out. But even after you received your state refund, even if it has an earned income credit included or a child tax credit included, uh, your federal refund is not going to be that. Any refund with those types of credits included are not going to even be considered to be paid out before February 15th this year, February 17th. So, and again, I'll use flowcharts and clips, labels, and stamps, and all of that information as I get better at making these videos. Right now, the information is kind of just flowing because tax season is going, and people have questions. And these are people who I feel confident, like they know their tax situation, their financial situation. So for these questions to be being revisited speaks to, yeah, that one big whatever mess, big beautiful thing. It's not what it is being purported to be, and I'm actually it's concerning. So I am prayerful and intentional and insistent about providing as much education as I can, providing as much information as I can, and preparing us to understand what these legislative decisions, what consequences these legislative decisions bring into our community. We have to know, our people perish for a lack of knowledge. The PATH Act, Google it, look it up. It's going to be time for voter registration to be insured in a lot of, we all see what's happening with the federalized or nationalized vote. That was never the intention. This is a republic. I'm not talking about a political party. This country, this democracy is a republic. Nationalizing the vote is going to be as catastrophic as the census. That's why they don't even do the census every year. So, again, knowledge is power. Make sure you know better so that you can do better. I want everybody to win. I am happy to share. I am learning to check the comments and to respond. So if you have a question, reach out. And when I answer a question in another video, I will make sure to include that in the description so that you can watch for understanding, knowledge, information. I want everybody to win. Be encouraged.